Hey folks, my Minute here, coming at you guys with another video. I just got back from the comic shop and picked up the last of this month's Batman books. So look at this ridiculous stack of books here. We got like 13 books to read. I am excited to dig in, give you guys my thoughts. So let's hop right in and take a look. Another double feature we had this week was Catwoman. We got both issues 32 and the 2021 Annual. So I've been raving about Catwoman pretty continuously for the last few months. I would say it continues to be great here. In issue 32, we get a guest artist, which is Evan Cagle. I think he does a serviceable job. I don't think he's quite as fitting for the role as Fernando Blanco. Blanco is partially involved in the Annual along with another artist. I'm hoping Blanco comes back for the main series here in the next issue or two. But overall, these two issues together actually make a pretty great companion piece. So the focus of issue 32 is Father Valley basically getting history on Catwoman, and you sort of expand on Catwoman's origins, explore her earlier days, and get a sense of what she's like from the eyes of a few different protagonists in this book, as Father Valley is questioning people. So, pretty interesting. I think overall well done. It has a good cliffhanger at the end that kind of brings things back into the present. And then the Annual, we spend a fair amount of time getting in depth on where Father Valley comes from, which was really interesting. So we get, the story is bookended by Fernando Blanco's artwork, which again, really, really good. Love the noir style. And then we go into a whole segment with Azrael, which is actually the majority of the book. Also really well illustrated, very different style, but also fitting for the story that kind of picks up here. And you find out basically the origins of Father Valley in this. I'm not sure how much of this is like already known, because I don't really know anything about Father Valley, but I'm assuming he's kind of a newer character. Either way, this really helped elucidate what's going on with him from a character standpoint. And so I feel like things are really poised to move forward now. When we get to issue 33 and finding out what it is that Father Valley's really after. So we know he's after Catwoman, but we don't really know why and what the grand scheme of his plan is. The other thing that happens in the Annual is towards the end we get to see sort of the tinderbox that is Gotham that they've been setting up in the main Batman story and in Detective Comics, spilling into Catwoman here in an interesting way. We get another building blowing up, which is the third major public building that's been blown up in a Batman book this month. But either way, left things off on an interesting note, and very excited to see where Catwoman is headed. All right, next up, Harley Quinn #4, which I keep saying I'm going to drop this book, or I'm just going to stop reading it, but I keep giving it more and more chances. Kind of paid off this week. So, is it my favorite book of the week? Not by a long stretch. However, I picked it up because I actually thought the cover to this was pretty great. I just like the use of black and contrasted with the rain dripping on Grundy there. I thought that was actually pretty cool. And the art on the inside, actually, I found to be a lot less slapdash than I've noticed in prior issues. Still super cartoony, which that was never really my problem with it. It was more so that there's just like a lot of wasted lines because it just felt rushed. And this feels a lot more tidy. There's a lot of use of kind of this pattern for shadows, which maybe helps with it. I'm honestly not sure exactly what it is. We still got all the beanhead people, which I continue to just hate. But overall, I mean, even looking at how Hugo Strange looks, it just seems like the line work is a lot more intentional here. That was just my overall impression. Now, as far as the story also started to go somewhere here too. So Hugo Strange has been taking up these this clown gang or whatever, and throughout the course of this issue, you see him kind of running experiments on them. And finally, towards the end, Harley Quinn takes matters into her own hands and decides she's going to go get them, finally, after 4 issues. Finally, at the end of this issue, we get sort of her character moving forward. So that was pretty good. Made me mildly interested in seeing where issue number 5 is going. Again, this is still not my favorite book by far, but as far as the Harley Quinn books up to this point, this is actually one of the better ones. So not necessarily going to give it a recommendation, but if you're already on board, might be worth continuing a little bit longer just to see where the story's headed and see if they can take it in an interesting direction. So one of the things I like about reading these in alphabetical order is a lot of my favorite books end up being higher in the alphabet. So next up we've got Legends of the Dark Knight number 2. We've got Nightwing, Robin coming up. Legends of the Dark Knight was a really welcome surprise last month when it launched. I had a lot of fun with the story. It had fantastic art by Derek Robertson. He also wrote the story, which is just a little bit more playful. Feels a little bit more like, I don't know, like 90s Batman almost. It just hits this great note where it's like the big broad villains with the big broad plan. You know, you get a Riddler joke in this issue that's like very classic. It's sort of like, you know what it is? It's like 60s Batman if it were taken seriously. That's kind of the vibe that this gives me, which is a version of Batman I really like and doesn't get that much play anymore. We did have a little bit of a sort of tender moment between Batman and Joker, which, I don't know, I kind of breezed through that because it felt a little bit derivative. But then we get on to the Riddler story, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but it is a kicker, and really got me excited for the issue to come. As you can see, art's still amazing, really solid writing, just a solid, fun Batman story. So if you're looking for something a little bit different that isn't part of the main Batman universe, between this and the detective, I think this is definitely the way to go. I wouldn't necessarily include the Reptilian book in that because that's a little bit more of a Elseworlds feel than this or the detective is. But overall, really great read. Definitely recommend picking this up. Okay, so we've got Nightwing 81 here. Another book continuing in the list of great DC covers from this month. Bruno Redondo, in my opinion, some of my favorite art that DC's putting out in this book. And the story is also great. So we've got a couple plot threads going on here. We have Tony Zucco's daughter being installed as the mayor of Bloodhaven. She's working with Blockbuster. We've got this villain on the streets called the Heartless, who is basically terrorizing homeless people throughout Bloodhaven. And Dick Grayson is trying to fight on 2 different fronts in this book, despite being injured. Great sequence here on a dock with a bunch of homeless kids. Once that's resolved, we get an incredible kicker of an ending with the daughter of Anthony Zucco and an interaction that Nightwing has with her. I don't want to spoil it because you should go pick this book up. Of everything that DC is putting out under the Batman family, you just can't go wrong with those books. So if you're not reading it, go check it out. Go back, get the back issues. This is probably a tough issue to hop on with, but go pick up issue 78 through 80 and hop on board this book for sure. Even if you're kind of tired of Batman, this is a book worth reading. It will make you happy. All right, at long last, we are wrapping things up with Robin number 3. 13 Batman books in total, I think, if I remember correctly. Lots and lots of books, lots of great covers, lots of great stories. Overall, for me, this was a great month for Batman books. So how does Robin number 3 hold up? Well, cover, in my opinion, not quite as strong as some of the other covers we've had this month, but nothing really wrong with it. Last month we left things off with Damian being forced to go to a party and interact with other peers of his. which we continue here. There's some great interactions between Robin and Ravager. Ravager calling out that he doesn't really have any friends because kidnapping the Teen Titans and making them do what he says does not count as friendship, which I thought was kind of funny. We do get to dig a little bit more into Connor Hawke's return and him being on the island, which also had some good interactions in it. Before leaving things off on a pretty strong cliffhanger, Robin once again gets his butt kicked. He's rescued by someone who I don't want to spoil. You'll just have to go check out the book to find out for yourself. But definitely left things exciting going into issue number 4. So again, Robin is basically like DC Mortal Kombat with Damian Wayne as the main character. Really enjoying putting Damian Wayne in this situation and seeing how they're going to grow him as a character. I think Joshua Williamson's doing great writing in this, and really opening the door for Damian Wayne as a character to move beyond just the bratty kid that he's kind of been since Grant Morrison introduced him literally what, 10 years ago or more now, which is kind of crazy to think about. 15 years ago? How long has Damian Wayne been around? Either way, definitely time for him to grow beyond what we've seen him as in the past, and this book I think is really going to be a great vehicle for that. If you're not picking it up, I recommend going to check it out. So as I mentioned before, what a huge stack of books it was this week. Took a couple days to get through them all, which usually I kind of like to sit down and read them all in one sitting. But having had the opportunity to go through all of them now, the big question is, which were my picks of the week? So, as with last week, I'm really going to pick 3 books, but I do want to throw out a couple of runners-up here. So, first runner-up has got to be Batman: The Adventures Continue. All told, obviously a spin-off from a TV show, pretty low stakes, but a fun story, well told. Classic Paul Dini. Really liked the use of Deadman in this, and would recommend this as one of my picks of the week and any other week if some of the other books weren't as good as they were. Another runner-up that I had this week was Legends of the Dark Knight. I think this book is consistently fantastic. I can't wait for the conclusion of this arc. I'm going to be sad when it's over because I think it is only 3 issues and then we'll be on to another creative team. But Derek Robertson is definitely setting the bar high with this, and I can't wait to see how things wrap up. Definitely recommend checking this out. Another one that easily would have been a pick of the week any other week, but they were beat out by a few books. So what were they beat out by? First of all, big surprise here, I'm going to give some credit to Batman Urban Legends right now. This is a book that I've been lukewarm on. I'm annoyed at the price. The perfect binding is nice, but it just seems like DC's been trying a little too hard to tap into that market, and there's just other things that they could do to do it more effectively. This is the issue that really sold me. Every single story in this was entertaining. A couple of them were really standouts. If I was reading them on their own, they would have been contenders for pick of the week too. And on top of that, there's a great cover. Really left me excited for issue 5, and then I saw the solicitation for issue 7 coming up. That's all going to be Batman Beyond focused, and it sold me on this. I like the idea of an anthology book, but they have yet to really leave me excited to read all the stories in them. This is the first issue where they really cross into that plane, and I am very excited for issue 5. So this is going to be my number 3 book of the week. Maybe some other ones could have beat it out potentially, but I was just really impressed with this, and compared with how it's been in prior months, this really was a standout issue, and I felt like it deserved credit for that. Between number 2 and number 1, it was really a tough choice. Either of them could have been my picks of the week. And I'm kind of going on the fly here, but I'm going to make my runner-up Batman Reptilian. So this is very much, it's DC Black Label, so Elseworlds, painted art, really well done by Liam Sharp, really sharp writing by Garth Ennis, no pun intended. Just a fantastic read. If you didn't pick this up, I would recommend hopping on board this. It is a darker, edgier Batman, which normally would be eye-rolling, but the way Garth Ennis does it, he just has a way of writing that type of character that I think is really, really sharp and just well done. So this is going to be my runner-up book of the week. It got beat out, but barely, kind of at the 11th hour, by Nightwing. So Nightwing has been my book of the month in the past. It is absolutely a must-read this month. I thought this issue was fantastic. Multiple storylines coming to a head in this, and leaving you now with more questions. This is exactly how you build long-term storytelling in comics, in my opinion. You've got your A story, you got your B story. The B story becomes the A story and then throws another twist in there. And it reads fantastic. Left me just totally excited for issue 82 to see where things are headed after this. So if you like Tom Taylor, you can't go wrong with this. If you like Nightwing, I think this is a great example, although in the past I haven't read a ton of Nightwing before. So granted, my experience is a little bit limited, but from what I'm hearing from a lot of other people, I am not alone in thinking that this book is fantastic. So book of the month this month has to go to Nightwing, but Batman Reptilian, super close behind. And then just a really strong outing from Batman Urban Legends. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Lots and lots of Batman books reviewed, and I will be back next month with another month of Batman comics. Have a good one, guys.